Hi besties, welcome back to my channel again. It's me, Styled by Cheesy. If you're just seeing me for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a return subscriber, I love you all for always stopping by my channel. Okay, so on today's channel, I'm going to be showing you how I went about this twisted crisscross bubu gown. Yeah, I'm going to call it a twisted crisscross bubu gown. So, but I'm not going to be filming the skirt inside. I'm not going to be filming it, okay? Because after sewing it, you just pair yours with either pants or whatever you want to pair yours with, okay? So we're working on this twisted crisscross bubu. So if this is what you're interested in, I would say you should keep on watching. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit on the subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you could be notified whenever we post beautiful tutorials like this, okay? So for this, it's going to be a little bit tricky because I'm going to use a pattern paper for it, a pattern paper for a small size, because this is a very big bubu, so I want you people to understand it perfectly well. So we're going to be drafting on our pattern paper before we go to our actual fabric, okay? So the next thing we're going to do now is to work on our pattern paper. So I'm going to be using this fabric. Please, for this tutorial, you need excess fabric for it. And I'm going to warn, if you are a newbie, like if you're a beginner on fashion designing, or rather if you're a beginner in tailoring work, I would say you should not use this fabric I'm using. You either use a silk fabric or a bridal satin for yours, okay? So what I have here, I don't know what to call this fabric I'm using, but it's like a net. It has a net. It's like a net, then it has designs on it, okay? So that is what I have. I've been with this fabric has been with me for a very long time, and I have it to be 4 and I think 5 yards. Yes, either 4.5 yards or 5 yards, but it's more than 4 yards, that I know, okay? So that's what I'm going to be using. I don't have a satin of that volume, okay? So if I should say this style, you're going to is more beautiful a satin fabric, so I thought. But after making mine came out pretty good. So you like to watch this video to the end to see the outcome of this tutorial, okay? Like I said before, a beginner, you have to use a satin for it, either a satin or a duchess for yours, or any silk fabric at all, okay? So I'm going to be using this pattern paper for this now. This pattern paper, I'm going to be taking my measurement, but not really my measurement, because the pattern paper is small, my table is small, and for you to understand, I have to make use of a small pattern paper to demonstrate what you're going to. So anything I do on this pattern paper, that is exactly what you're going to do with your measurement on your fabric. Hope you understand. I hope you all understand what I am trying to say, but maybe during the process of this, you're going to understand. It's a very simple tutorial, but the stitching part, that's joining part, is kind of tricky, okay? So you pay close attention to this. So first of all, so I'm chalking my starting point. I'm going to be chalking my starting point on this pattern paper. So if you want to follow me on the pattern paper, fine. If you want to work on your actual fabric, it's totally fine, whichever one you want to do. So I'm marking my starting point. Then so after marking my starting point, the next thing I'm going to do is to divide my shoulder by 2. I'm going to be dividing my shoulder by 2, and my shoulder divided by 2 is 9. Then after that, I'm going to extend how, like, the length I want my sleeve to be. And the length I want my sleeve to be is not up to this pattern paper. So the length here is 11, but I want my length to be 25. So let's assume that's 11. That's 11 there is 25, okay? The extra 25 I'm going to chalk down on my actual fabric, okay? So like I said before, why I'm using this pattern paper is for you to understand, okay? Like I'm using a miniature, let me just use that, a small size for this. So I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and I marked my neck width 3 and my neck depth, which is 1. We are using our back neckline for this, so we are drafting for our back first. So from the back, we're going to be drafting for the front. With the back, we will derive the front measurement. So I used my curve ruler for my neck, and I slanted that 1 inch I came down by into the neckline area. So I hope you understand. So now I'm going to determine how open I want my sleeve area to be. So I'm going to be measuring 14 for it, okay? I'm going to be measuring 14. I used 13.5, but later on the fabric, I used 14 for the open, like how open I want my sleeve area to be. And I'm going to mark a straight line just this way. Then after which, I'm going to, from that straight line, I'm going to be marking dividing my waist circumference. But before that, I'm going to determine the length I want this bubu to be. This bubu, the length I want it to be is length 47, length 45, sorry. That is what I want this bubu to be, length 46 plus 1 inch folding allowance, though I did not fold it later because the fabric is somehow, whether you fold or whether you hem it or you don't hem it, is totally fine. So I used the length 46 for this. So what I have here is 24. So let's assume the length of this pattern paper is 46, the exact length I want my bubu to be. Then after that, I'm going to measure my hip circumference divided by 4. My hip circumference divided by 4 is 13.5, and I'm going to add extra 6 inch for ease. You can add 4, you can add 5, 7, depending on how big you want your bubu to be. Okay, so I added 5 inches extra for ease. So I'm going to make a curve with my free hand. I wanted to use I'm going to make a straight line first, then I'm going to make a curve. I wanted to use my curve ruler, but I decided to use my free hand, so whichever one works for you. Okay, so just make a curve because we don't want that sharp edge for it. Okay, so just make a curve to connect down to the length. So from the length you got for your hip circumference, you're going to just mark a straight line, then make a curve, like an armhole curve, okay, down. And I'm going to go ahead to cut this out. Okay, but later I'm going to readjust this now so that you people understand. We see the sleeve very well, like the sleeve area very well. Okay, so I'll cut my neckline area. After cutting my neckline area, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the 1 inch slope. That's a shoulder slope. Okay, so I'm going to readjust this sleeve so that you people will see it well. Okay, when cutting on my fabric, I'm going to cut the exact measurement I want. So I just want you people to see the curve very well. So that is it for it. So we are done for the back. So with this back, I'm going to use it to cut for the front. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring a pattern paper just like this, a pattern paper that has extra allowance. Let me just use that, and I'm going to place this back on it just this way. So this is just the way we normally do for our overlap. If you want to make a wrap gown, okay, an overlap dress, I don't know if you understand. That's just the same thing. I just readjusted my camera so that people will see what I'm doing. So this extra on it is going to serve as my overlap. Okay, that's what I'm going to use for the excess allowance for the twisted crisscross on this bubu. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, remember the length I told you I'm using for my bubu is length 46. So let's assume the length I have on this pattern paper, the length I have on this pattern paper is 24. So I said before, let's assume it is that 24 is the length 46 I'm going to use. Okay, so that is it. So I'm going to be dividing that length 46. I'm going to divide it by 2. If you divide length 46 by 2, you're going to have 13. Okay, so this side, I'm going to, what I have here is, I think, 15, but what I'm going to be having on my actual fabric is going to be 30 or 35 or 40, depending on how long you want your lapel to be. Okay, so I'm going to be dividing what I have for the length of this this bubu into 2. So length 46 divided by 2 is 13, and I chalked it down. Now I'm going to be taking the neck measurements for the front, and the neck measurements for the front, I want it to be 10. Okay, so I chalked down 10. So from that 10, I'm going to make a point for the neck width, which is there. So from that 10, I'm going to make a curve to reconnect that from that point I made, which is the neck width for 3. I will reconnect a line just this way to meet that 10 inches I came down by for my neckline. And I'm also going to do same thing for the other side to meet the point I divided into 2. You know, I divided the length of this bubu. I'm using the pattern paper as my bubu now. I divided it by 2. So I'm going to make a curve to meet the line. Okay, and I'm going to readjust it, like make the curve very well to sit properly with my free hand, just because I don't want a sharp edge on this. I just hope you guys understand what I'm saying. This is a bit tricky, but if you pay close attention, it is very simple. So I'm going to use my scissors now, and I am going to cut it out. I'm going to cut it out, then after cutting, I'm going to cut the other sleeve area. So watch now and see how I am going to go about the cutting. Okay. Now guys, let's go to our fabric. So you see why I said this fabric, this is, if I cut it on my fabric, you're not really going to understand. So this is the pattern paper I used for the back. This is the back. I folded this fabric into two. So now I am going to measure the sleeve. I'm going to extend it to the length I want it to be. Then the length of this is the exact length I want for my bubu, length 46. So I've gone ahead to cut it out. Then this is it now. I've cut the front also. The back is sitting on the front. So let me explain now. My length, my shoulder divided by, that's my sleeve opening and my shoulder. Then the other side is the lapel, the exact thing I did on the pattern paper. I don't know if you understand, but I hope you guys understand. But if you don't understand, leave your question down the comment section and I am going to respond. So the length of my lapel is 40. I later used 40, and the length of my bubu is 46. So I divided it by 2 and I made a curve to meet the neckline area of neck width 3, and I made a curve and I cut it out. Hope you understand. So I hope you guys understand. So that is it. So the next thing we're going to be doing now is to stitch this. Okay, please guys, I hope you understand, but if you don't understand, feel free to leave your question down the comment section. So guys, for the stitching now, I'm going to come to my table, though my table is not that wide, but this is normally the way we normally join our shoulder to shoulder for our bubu dress. Okay, I'm going to leave, I have a video on how to sew a simple bubu gown. Okay, the way you join your normal kimono shoulder to shoulder. So I'm going to drop the video down the description box if you don't understand what I mean by joining to shoulder for people who are just joining us for the first time. So I'm going to join shoulder to shoulder. This is the lapel now. Then I'm going to bring the other one, place it on the other side, and also join it shoulder to shoulder. Okay, so we're going to be joining the shoulder to shoulder just this way. Then after joining the shoulder to shoulder, I am going to join the sides. That's the sides. Like if you're going to make, assuming for example you're making a kimono dress, after joining your shoulder to shoulder, you join the sides. Okay, then after joining it, I am going to show you how to go about your crisscross, your twisted crisscross. Okay, so that is just it. So guys, I am done joining it shoulder to shoulder. As you can see, I just placed it on the floor now, shoulder to shoulder, and I've joined the sides as well, the way we normally join our kimono if you want to make a kimono bubu. Do you get? So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to show you how to go about the crossing. So this is the overlap, or should I say this is the allowance. Then please, if you are making use of a silk fabric, before doing the twisted crisscross, you have to hem the opening. Hem everywhere, the down and the opening, that's the kimono opening. You have to hem everywhere, because if you don't do that, you're going to find it difficult to hem it after doing your twisted crisscross. So make sure you hem if you're using a silk fabric. So I'm not going to be hemming mine because I make sure the kind of fabric I'm using doesn't have a rough edge. So whether you hem it or you don't hem it, it doesn't mean. Okay, so that is, after sewing it, you're going to see that you're not even going to see anything like it to look as if you hemmed it. So please, if you're using a silk, make sure you hem it, okay, before doing the crisscross. So this is it, guys. So you're going to bring the left side to the right side, the right side to the left side. I'm going to repeat this again so you don't get confused. The excess you have, I am going to separate it again now. So this is the left side. I'm going to bring it just this way. Sorry guys, you're going to bring it, I'm going to align this properly. This fabric is a little bit tricky. So you're going to bring it just this way. You place it on the right side, the left side on the right side, then the right side on the left side. Hope you understand. Left to the right, right to the left. This is simple, it's not that difficult. Left to the right, right to the left. Okay, so that is it. So what you're going to do next, what I'm going to do next now is I will separate it again for you guys to understand. So pay close attention. I'm just trying to make sure you guys understand what I am doing properly. Okay, so you're going to bring the left side either way you want to do. Either you bring the left to the right first, or you bring the right to the left before bringing the left to the right. So just twist it. Hope you understand the meaning of twisting. So left to the right and right to the left, just the way you see me doing. Front side facing each other, please. Front side facing each other. So after crossing it this way, This is the crisscross. So after crossing it this way, you're going to bring this other edge, this other edge you see me doing, and you place it front side facing each other, just this way. I open it up, you use this side, sorry guys, you use this side, you bring it and to the other side, and you make a stitch. Take it to your sewing machine and make a straight stitch on it. So after making the stitch, I'll show you how it looks. So guys, the rest of the work, we're going to be doing it on a dummy. So you see the way this is now. This is the rough edge. So you're going to close it front side. You bring it up. You close it front side facing each other. Don't worry, you're going to see what I'm doing here. You bring it the front side facing each other. Do you understand? The wrong side facing each other. So you have a straight line, like the knit side is going to be outside. So you cross it like this. Okay? You cross it like this. And you're going to pin it from the back, the way you normally do your build-up collar for your kimono, for your bubu dress, the way you do your build-up collar. So you're going to do this, bring it. By then you've notched your center shoulder, your center neckline, the back neckline. You notch it so you get the center. So you're going to pin it down just this way. You keep pinning it till you get down, and you're going to do same thing for the other side. You keep pinning up. You pin up, you bring the two lapel and the body of your bubu dress, of your bubu gown, sorry, and you pin. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to be careful while doing this. It looks simple, but it's a little bit tricky. You bring it, you pin, just the way you do your build-up collar, the build-up collar for your kimono dress, okay? So that's just it. So after doing that side, you're equally going to do this other side, okay? So you do this other side the same way you did the other side. You pin it down till you get to the end, then you take it to your sewing machine and stitch. After stitching, you're going to see how it's going to look like. I'm going to show you how it looks like. So we've already come to the end of this video. This is just it. So what you're going to do is, what you're going to wear underneath, either you sew a gown, like a strapless gown, or you wear a black singlet and a black pants. Just whatever you want to wear inside is totally fine, okay? The purpose of this video is to show you how to make a twisted crisscross bubu, okay? So I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch it down. Then I'm going to show you the finishing part. Please, if you've watched this instead, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell on. Don't forget to leave your question if necessary, okay? So guys, this is the finishing part. I made a skirt for mine. I'm going to be using a black singlet for the up. So like I said before, use whatever you want to use. You see how beautiful this is looking. The fabric, you see how beautiful the fabric is looking. So please, if you're a beginner and you can't go about this soft net, please use a silk for yours or a bridal satin. This is how beautiful it looks after stitching. And you're seeing that I did not hem anything, but still is looking beautiful. So remember, if you're using a silk or a bridal satin, make sure you hem before doing that crisscross I told you about. Hem the down and you hem the kimono part. That's the open kimono part. You hem your sleeve first before doing the crisscross. Okay, so we've come to the end of this tutorial. I would like to know what you think about this video down in the comment section, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you find this video interesting. Leave your question below and share this tutorial, okay, to others. You might be helping somebody. So we've come to the end of this tutorial. Don't forget, I love you all. Thank you so much for always stopping by my channel. See you on my next video. Bye.